Welcome back, everyone. Toy Shiz here, and I know a lot of you out there have been waiting for this one. I have been waiting to do this video. I got these right before Comic-Con, and then Comic-Con came up, so it really did not have a lot of time. The type of time I like to invest when I talk about Batman the Animated Series, or rather, because it's from McFarlane Toys, it's Batman the Reanimated Series, and this is Wave 5. Most of them. One's kind of missing. But the two Batmans of the wave, they look pretty cool. I'm very excited to check these out. The first one being Classic Batman. This one is a direct homage to the original Kenner First Wave Combat Belt Batman. So naturally, I think that one is a general standout for me. Yes, you're going to get a whole bunch of figures and you're going to collect to build Jonah Hex. That's another reason that I wanted this wave. Mostly because I don't have any of these figures, and yeah, who doesn't like Jonah Hex from the episode Showdown? So here's every other character in the wave. There's only 4 to grab, but there are 2 variants, and here is the barcode for the Classic Batman. Now, as I said, there's a variant in the form of the Night Star Batman from the old Kenner line. Now, this is a Platinum Edition variant, so you're going to have to go in the store, or maybe you get lucky enough, you were able to get them off Target, and you got one that way. It's going to be the same exact barcode shares with both Batmans. The Al-Ghul figure looks pretty cool. Bunch of extra hands. He's got the Anubis mask. Heck yeah, I'm excited for Al-Ghul. But I do have thoughts on this, namely in what he's wearing. But here's the barcode for old Raish, whatever you want to say. The Gray Ghost. I'm very excited for this one because it's such a cool character. Simon Trent, and in Batman the Animated Series lore, it's the whole reason Batman became Batman. He based his Batcave off Gray Ghost Lair, everything else. And then, to round it out, we have Waylon Jones, a.k.a. Killer Croc. The better of the 2 Killer Crocs from B-Test to TNBA, methinks. Here's the barcode for Killer Croc. Now, there is a variant in the form of a TNBA green-colored Killer Croc. When I found this case, I found them all. There was no green-colored Killer Croc. However, good friend of mine, MCU Collector 24, over on Instagram, he went to his local Target up north, California, and found an entire case of the green platinum Killer Croc. So they are out there, and I'm really not too hard up about finding one. I'll find one eventually somewhere, somehow. But no, he will not be a part of this video. But you get the idea. The gray Croc, the green Croc, it's the same thing. It's just a color difference. So this is going to be an absolute blast. Sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice hot cup of coffee. This is a look at the entire-ish, minus the green Croc, Wave 5 of the McFarlane Toys Batman the Reanimated Series, which is all a Target exclusive line. Here we go. And as always, before we get started, I want to say a quick thank you to everyone who's tuned into my YouTube channel, everyone who tuned into my SDCC 2025 coverage. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing, yada yada, hit the bell. You know what to do. Let's talk some B-Test. First and foremost, we have Al-Ghul, Al-Ghul, the animated series from B-Test to Batman Beyond. Well, they'll tell you each and every way to say it, whatever you want to say. But I'm going with Al-Ghul, even though apparently now it's Al-Ghul. So old Raz here comes with some hands. Forearms, basically. And it's kind of funny because he has these hands that look something out of Edward Scissorhands, but the hands are not really scaled well. He has like one large hand and then he has baby hands. Same thing for his fisted hands. You'll see that soon enough. But he does come with his cool, creepy mask, so at least they got that right. So that leads me to the fact of I would always prefer Al-Ghul in his green suit. That's how I see him with the cape. But in this case, we have his look from when it's finally revealed that he was the one that kidnapped Robin and yada yada. So I think the head portrait looks amazing, but I really wish it was the suited body. Nevertheless, it's not what we got, so this is the look that we got. And it works. It's when he gets revived in the Lazarus pit and everything else. If you want to remove the cape, you could do that. The colors are great. In particular, I like the slice of cell shading right there on the boots. You got the little bit of blue on the black. That's nice. That's all it is. That is all the cell shading. The cape looks great. It's a little cumbersome when you want to stand him. You'll figure it out. The head pops off easy peasy. Putting the head on without the cape is fine, although the neck looks a little bit long without the cape. That's my one gripe. And then also, yeah, he has the baby hands. Don't forget that. That's really funny. Thankfully, with the cape, you don't see the hands, so you could tuck them behind his back. Or he does come with the clapping hands. And I totally dig that. So to point out a particular scene in the Demon's Head Part 1, when he's doing the weird clapping thing, and Batman has finally rescued Robin, then he lurches forward and grabs the helmet right off. And lo and behold, it turns out the whole time, who would have thunk it, Al-Ghul was the one. But I digress. With the Anubis head, it's a pretty solid looking figure, although you're not going to get much movement in the head once the helmet's on there. It's just kind of, yeah, straight up and down. But again, tuck the hands, tuck them within the cape, put them behind his back, whatever you want to do, or use the right, we'll say, appropriate hands, and you got yourself a cool looking Raish. Now, moving on, we have Killer Croc. There's really not much to him. It's primarily just a figure with some wonky articulation segments. We'll say that. He does come with some fisted hands. They're very angular. They're very B-TAS. He also has some open hands, more, we'll say, grabbing hands. Maybe Joey the Snail, maybe Spider Conway. He also has some rock-throwing hands. Unfortunately, rocks sold separately. You can go out to your garden and grab some rocks, maybe go to the beach. But again, you can kind of recreate the scene, we'll say, from the Carnival Freak Show episode, Sideshow. So that's pretty cool, and I totally dig that as Croc wanders off into the wilderness all drugged up. But the actual action figure, we'll say this, minus the weird cuts, as we can all see. It's just like, why is this here? He's got a belly button articulation point, basically. But he is cool, and I totally dig this. I think they got all the lumps and the bumps and the weird long arms and everything else. Although, go easy on the arms when you first get them. They're kind of stuck, so just be careful. You don't want to snap anything. The head articulation works pretty well. You get enough out of it, although I do wish the jaw was articulated, or he had some chains to bite through. That would have been a nice touch as well. Down to his belly button articulation, it really doesn't do much. It's almost like, why is this here? You kind of expect more movement out of it. The pants, no movement at the waist or anything like that. The one gripe with Croc, might be just on mine, hopefully it's not on yours, is that the legs, at least this side, is very loose. One's a lot looser than the other. But maybe it's because old Bane got to Killer Croc before Batman and Robin were able to stop him. So just think about that. Croc, his legs all busted up. Here he is in relation to Batman. So later, Gator. But in terms of the feet, there's no rock. It just spins. There's no peg holes on the bottom. So again, the articulation is very much 8 to 10 years old. We can clearly say that without a doubt. These are reissues after all. Does it look like Killer Croc from Batman the Animated Series? Most definitely. Am I happy with this figure? He's so-so. Really wish he didn't have those loose joints. Now, next up, we have Simon Trent, the Gray Ghost. Finally, we get a reissue of this guy. This is very cool. Batman the Animated Series lore, like I said, Batman based a lot of what he does off of his love of the Gray Ghost. He comes with just amazing accessories and functional accessories. Open hands, a pen holding hand with the pen already in it, so you don't have to worry about losing that, because you need to be able to sign the copy of Bruce Wayne's Gray Ghost physical media, whatever this may have been. VHS, some kind of floppy disk. Who knows what was in this? But I digress. Him holding the pen is awesome. Him holding the DVD case. So all functional. Plus, he comes with the bomb car from the Mad Bomber. Bruce Timm, basically in that episode. But it's painted nicely. It's got the antenna. It's got the wheels. It doesn't roll. Nothing like that. But it just looks cool. So when Batman and the Gray Ghost are investigating the bombs, you could totally recreate that scene on your shelf. Except that, of course, Simon Trent's prints are all over that thing. And then finally, as a nod to the actual character of the Gray Ghost, you get his Gray Ghost Zapper. It's very simplistic, but what is nice is that he has appropriate hands and he holds it beautifully. And I'm just saying the nicest things about this figure because, truth be told, from spats to fedora, this is an amazing looking figure. Very happy to have him, despite some of the more antiquated articulation, although it's really not that bad. You can see his goggles. Kind of looks like Old Man Bruce a little bit from Batman Beyond. You know the episode I'm talking about with Ink, the second go around. But yes, overall, he just fits that Batman the Animated Series aesthetic. And even though I say antiquated articulation, it's really not that far off. It's not like he has that weird belly button articulation like Croc does. At least he has a waist going on. Although he doesn't have the most attractive knees, we'll just say. At least the feet move. There's no peg holes on the bottom of the feet. But for what you're going to want to do with the Gray Ghost, it has enough articulation to get him in all the poses ye's desire. And with that being said, here are the two Batmans of the wave. So you have Combat Belt Batman, and then you have the later released Night Star Batman. And that is just a fun way to do repaints. It's a platinum. Really doesn't affect the collection. If you don't want it, you don't need it. You still get the same parts and pieces needed to build Jonah Hex, so it's really no skin off your teeth. And yes, do keep in mind these have jumped up to the $35 price point, which more or less is what they cost when they originally came out 8 to 10 years ago. Just keep that in mind. But in the case of Combat Belt Batman, I was under the impression when they kind of hinted at this that they were actually going to do the parts and pieces that originally came with Combat Belt Batman. This time around, unfortunately, they went with just painting the accessories yellow, which I get it, but how cool would that have been to have had all those accessories that came with the original Combat Belt Batman? That would have been stellar. But the actual figure itself, I like that they've changed things around. The last couple waves with the Batmans have been really, really poor across the board. Problems with the articulation and whatnot. They got the color right on this as far as Combat Belt Batman, and I like how they changed the cape. It doesn't have that awful, crunchy, taffeta, weird cape. This is a solid, hefty, heavy cape, and I appreciate that. Although, when you want to get it to look good, it does harken back to the original Kenner days, except when you pull it forward and you'd want to do more of that wrapped cape look for Batman. You're really not going to be able to do that. It really only looks best when it's draped back. So yeah, that's the one caveat to the cape. The head portrait I think is much better, although you're going to have to kind of fight the cowl sometimes with the cape. It's something you just kind of figure it out and you'll make it look good. He has a waist, he's got the arms, he's got all the basic articulation you've seen with most Batman the Animated Series figures, minus the ab crunch. They finally changed the molds for that. They got the other one going, which I am more appreciative of. He's got some ankle rock. He has 1 foot with a peg hole, just FYI. And he does have visible pins and whatnot. Again, it's an old school figure reissued. But I like that the homage to Combat Belt Batman, at least in the spirit of it, is there. I like that they kind of changed the head portrait around. More so, it's a win-win. But in terms of the Night Star Batman, you're going to see red and black accessories this time around, again, to evoke what he came with back in the day. But yes, I really wish they would have gone just the extra mile to produce some new accessories that fit these new releases, quote unquote. But I like the gold, I like the black. It just stands out. Again, it's a goofy reissue for those of you that were there in this time period when Batman figures were getting released out the yin-yang. This is what we had. We had Ice Shield Batman and Sonar Tech Batman and Gold and Black Batman. So these were not exactly everyone's cup of tea, but now the nostalgia of it really hits me and I go, yeah, that was fun. If you look back on it, you go, yeah, it's cool and what's not. But like I said, to have all the accessories, they actually work. To have the appropriate hands, they actually work. They are fun. But Night Star Batman, not detrimental to your collection if you don't get them, but Combat Belt Batman, in my opinion, definitely will be. Now, the Build-A-Figure. The Build-A-Figure, I think at this point is what everyone really is after. A lot of people who collected BTAS back in the day, they really just want the Build-A-Figure. Jonah Hex, I'm happy to say, is quite fantastic. I think they've captured the great look of him, especially from Showdown. You have that burned tomahawk look, and then you have, well, a relatively normal face, as normal as Jonah Hex can be. What's nice though is that the figure boasts some interchangeable ways to display him. You can put one of his revolvers in his belts, you can have the revolver in his side holster, or you can have the knife in his side holster. It really is up to you. And let me know down in the comments what you think goes where. But truth be told, I like the knife in the belt. They've also painted him to the nines. They got the buttons, suspenders. I really wasn't aware of that he had. Those are sculpted in. But the knife is very cool. Now, this is the knife that he uses to defend himself against Arcady at the very end of the episode. It's very simplistic, but it does work. He also comes with 2 pistols. The pistols look great. No complaints. The fact that he comes with a knife and 2 pistols, I'm really not going to complain. But then you have a holster that is on the side of his leg right here. Now, the holster, this is going to be my one gripe because it works and it doesn't work for many reasons. If you just put it like this and leave it alone, fine, but you can kind of see that it has that backing missing that they do with a lot of swords and whatnot with McFarlane toys. Once you push it all the way down, it really doesn't fit all too well either. You kind of have to prop it up on the barrel of the gun. You'll get what I'm talking about if you get this figure. But it looks okay. Just okay. You can also see that they painted in the part that would attach to his belts and then the sculpted parts that goes around his legs. So it's kind of a mishmash there. The coat looks good, except here's my warning. Be very careful with it because it's that type of vinyl that if you pull this area right here, it's going to rip straight up. So be very careful. But the articulation is great for this type of figure. He does have pins. He's got ankle rocker. Nothing is loose. Nothing is wonky. Nothing is like the Condiment King, just FYI for those of you that know the first wave's problems. But I digress. It's a very cool figure. And again, I'm very happy to have Jonah Hex. In the totality of all 5 waves now, with all the Build-A-Figures, they all look great just standing there. They all have their kind of wonks, and, well, this could have been changed a little bit. But Jonah Hex, for the most part, much like Lockdown, is pretty solid overall. And while it really won't fit within the context of the episode, just to kind of see how he scales with Batman and Robin, and perhaps you want to turn him into the JLU once in a future thing, Jonah Hex, you can see how they look together. So that's going to wrap it up for my quick look at the entire, except for the Green Killer Croc, Wave 5 of the McFarlane Toys Batman, the Re-Animated Series Target exclusive line. Now, at the McFarlane press event at STCC, I did inquire if, well, will Batman the Animated Series continue? And the answer was, as far as everything's going, everything is continuing. So we'll hold them to that, and hopefully we do see more BTAS figures. I would like to see at least 1 to 2 more waves before the timer runs out. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. And until the next one, I will leave you guys with that. Adios.